This is page 2 of your Unit 1 Spring Review. We are going to work the odds. So number 13 is another solving problem where you want to get the letter by itself on one side and the whole numbers on the other side. So the first step I'm going to do is move this whole number, positive 5, to the right with the 14. So in order to do that, you did operation subtraction. So it cancels on that side, and whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. 14 minus 5 is 9, equals b over 4. From there, b is being divided by 4, so in order to cancel it out, you have to multiply by 4 to cancel, and whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. So b equals 36. It wants us to check our work by going back and plugging in 36 divided by 4 plus 5 equals 14, and see if that comes out to be true. 36 divided by 4 is 9. 9 plus 5 is 14, so that is true. So I know I did it right. For the next set of problems, it says, for each problem, define the variable, write an equation, and solve. Number 15, though, it doesn't ask us to solve. It's just on number 14. Number 15 just wants us to write the equation. It says you are walking at an average of 3 miles per hour. The distance, d, you travel is a function of the number of hours, h, you travel at that rate. Write an equation to represent this function. So you're walking 3 miles per hour. Okay, we talk a lot about in my class how that word per often means multiply. So 3 times h, because h is our hours. And it says the distance you travel is the function of hours that you travel at that rate. So is means equals that distance. So my equation here is going to be 3h equals d. And you're finished here because it doesn't ask you to solve for how far you went based on a number of hours. So if it did, we could plug in and solve, but it doesn't, so it just wants the function. So we're finished. Move my paper up so you can see the next 3 problems. Solving and graphing inequalities. We talked a lot about, even before this unit, we talked about how you want to solve inequalities just like you're solving an equation. Pretend it's an equal sign. And then once you've got the letter by itself, you graph that using an arrow if the letter is on the left. So we want to solve for A. That means we want to get the 8 to the other side of the inequality sign. Just like we would with an equal sign, you want to do the opposite of whatever's going on here. So the opposite of subtraction is addition in order to cancel him out. And then whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. So from there, you've just got A is greater than or equal to 27. My letter is on the left, so I can use this like an arrow. I'm going to put 27 right there on my graph. I'm going to do maybe 1 or 2 numbers on either side of it. I know that it's an equal to sign, so it's going to be a dark circle, and then the arrow is going to point this way. And then I'm finished there. I graphed that on number 16 answer, so you'll have to move that to number 17. Number 19, same thing, you want to solve for A. Right now, it is being multiplied by a fraction, which is the same thing as division. If you ever want to cancel this out, you want to multiply it by the reciprocal, or the opposite of the fraction. So I'm going to multiply this by 3 over 1, and it cancels. And whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. I know 8 times 3 over 1 is the same thing as 8 times 3, which is 24. You still have the letter, and you still have the inequality sign. Keep in mind, if I had to multiply by a negative there, it would have flipped the sign, but here it doesn't. So I'm finished because I got my letter by itself. So I know A is going to be less than or equal to 24. So I put 24 on my graph, a number above it, a number below it. I know it's going to be a solid dot because it's equal to. And then I'm going to use this inequality sign like an arrow to tell me which way to point because my letter's on the left. Number 21 is a little bit different because the letter is on the right. So we'll need to be careful when we're switching him around. But I want to get the letter by himself. So the first thing I want to do is move this whole number over to the whole number side by doing the opposite of whatever's going on. Minus 8, minus 8. 26 minus 8 is 18. And then I carry down that 6x is still on one side. From here, to get the x by himself, he's being multiplied by 6 right now. So I would divide by 6, and I get 3 is less than or equal to x as my final answer. But I really like it when the letter is on the left side of the equation. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this as x on the left and 3 on the right. And I want to look at my symbol here, my inequality sign, and think, it's pointing at the 3. So when I rewrite it, I want him pointing at the 3 again. And that's how you can rewrite so that your letter's on the left and you can use the sign as an arrow. Just be careful when you're flipping him around to make sure wherever he's pointing, you want to make him point that way again. So 3 is what goes on my graph. I'm going to do one above, one below. It's going to be a solid dot because it's equal to, and then my arrow is going to go this way. Okay, well that's it for odds for page 2. Come into tutoring if you guys need any help.